There we go. All right, so I've got the recording going, and I am going to be talking about silver mindset. And really, it's not just silver mindset. I called it silver mindset because that's kind of Operation Silver, what we go for. But really, it's just mindset of a leader. And I've had several people ask me questions over the last couple of weeks that were in line with this kind of thought process of what does it mean to have a leader mindset or a silver mindset. I don't even really know what that looks like, and just a little bit of maybe frustration or confusion on that. So I'm just going to talk about, from my experience and my perspective, what that looks like. And not only that, it was great because this weekend at beauty school, there were so many different things that really every time somebody spoke, they spoke about mindset, and it really reaffirmed some of these things for me. So the first thing is, it's not necessarily about, we talk about believing, well, you got to, believe that you're a silver and all that kind of stuff. And while I think belief is really important, I'll talk about that in a minute. People hit silver before they understand what silver even means. And people become a leader before they even understand what being a leader means. So it's not necessarily a belief about, I'm a great leader, or I am a silver leader, or any of that. So I want to really break it down. What is that underlying belief? And the first thing that I have seen, I loved, Tracy posted this just today about the runner in the 1920s Olympics. So, okay, there was this runner, and I'm going to butcher the story, so fix it if I butcher it. But basically, this guy was running in the Olympics, and somebody stole his shoes. And so he pulled a pair of shoes out of the dumpster, and one of them was too big, so he has two socks on one foot. He's wearing these old dumpster shoes, and he won 2 gold medals wearing dumpster shoes. So, obviously there's some skill that goes into that, but it's a really neat story when you look into it. And if you want to see it and read it in its context, go look at Tracy's page because she posted it. But it has that idea, and somebody posted in their grit, and that's really what it is. It's that determination to get there. I'm going to do this one way. I came this far. I'm going to compete. I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to let something get in my way. That is part of that mindset, is that grit thing. But the first thing that I want to talk about is this difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, because I feel like it's really, really huge to this whole process. So fixed mindset is basically this mindset, and you might have a fixed mindset in some areas of your life, but not in every area. So don't feel like this is an all or nothing thing. But a fixed mindset can be, is that idea that you are how you are, and that is not going to change. Or your situation is how it is, and it's not going to change. Now we know, you can think to 2 years ago in your life and have things changed. Have you changed? Have you learned new things? So we have to kind of take a fixed mindset that says, I don't know how to do that, or I don't have the resources for that, or I don't have the time for that, or I don't have the finances for that, or I failed last time I tried that. That's a fixed mindset. Well, I failed at that once, so I will always fail at that. I have always been bad at this, or I have always, I don't know how to do that. This idea that you can't learn and grow. A growth mindset says, I can learn new skills and take in information. How can I get the resources that I need? How can I make time? How can I make room in the budget? Or how can I do this differently so that it doesn't cost what I think it needs to cost? And I learned this last time. Instead of I failed last time, I learned this. I loved Tiffany and Nathan's video about having a class where nobody showed up, because that happens to all of us. That's the reality. Every single one of us are going to run into a time where nobody shows up. We're going to be set. We're going to be told no. We're going to have somebody mad at the way that we do something. We're going to have, we're going to come into a situation where we have to learn something new in order to do what we want to do. We don't know how to do it. And so if we have that fixed mindset, we get stuck and we're not able to push forward because we go, I can't really take that in. So this is one of the reasons why I try not to be a handholder. As an educator, we learn a lot about teaching people how to be literate in a subject. That doesn't mean like literacy and like reading literacy. What it means to be literate in a subject, it means to know enough about that subject to go and research and get information. So you need to know a certain amount of science to go and even know what kind of science things to look up, right? Science is always changing. So our goal as educators should be to teach kids the foundations of science and scientific questioning so that they can go and research scientific articles, scientific studies, take in information and know whether or not it's something that's valid, because there's so much information out there. So that should be our goal in this situation, whether it's teaching people about oils and natural health and wellness. We cannot be the sole source of information for everybody. That's not our number one. It will burn you out. Number two, you don't know all the information. If you feel like you have to be that person, then you feel like your role is to constantly take in information and be somebody's encyclopedia. No, our job is to give people a foundation so they can go and learn for themselves, because that's actually really empowering. So my job as a leader is to help you guys see, like, you have a foundational knowledge of what to do in this business. You do. I mean, all of you know what it takes. You are here in this group because you've hit senior star or above. So you know what it takes. If you've hit senior star, then you know what it takes. You just got to keep doing more of that. You might need to do it in a different way. You might want to expand how you're doing it. You might need to expand your network. And that might mean getting out of your comfort zone. It might mean learning something new, but you can do that. So I want you guys to just think about that. Where in your life have you said, I don't really know how to do that? Like, I can't do that because I don't know how. Or I don't have the resources for that. I've heard people say, well, I don't have time for this, or I don't know how to do this, and you know how to do it. So can you do it for me? Well, how do you think I learned how to do it? I learned how to do it from Google most of the time. Guys, when it comes to anything marketing, I have no background in marketing before Young Living. Anything in marketing, anything on web design, anything on graphics, anything. I Google stuff. Go look up basics of graphic design. You can find some really great articles that will take you through some really simple, like, visual things of how to have a great design, kind of how to create designed elements with negative space and all this kind of stuff, how to take photographs so that you have that negative space and you can just stick it in word swag and put that picture on there. I mean, all of these things, simple. It's not about being a professional in that area. It's about going, I'm willing to learn and try something new and different. And just because it doesn't work the first time doesn't mean you can't do it. It doesn't mean that you can't continue to learn and grow in that. It's one of the things I love about theater. Theater has a built-in, like, in a rehearsal. Hi, Rachel. I see your face. I see other people's names pop up, but I saw your face. In theater, we have a built-in rehearsal time. We do this in music. And in a lot of arts, you have, like, performance arts, you have a built-in, like, basically it's a time to try things out and see what works. And so you're taught by doing that it's okay to fail. It's okay to try something and for it not to work. And so I want to give you guys permission to try things. And even if they don't work, I'm going to give you permission to, like, do something that doesn't work. It's okay. It's okay if you're like, I want to do something different. I'm tired of doing 101 classes the same way. Try something different. It might bomb the first time. That's okay. Doesn't mean it's not a great idea. It might mean you need to tweak it a little bit and come back and do it again. But I want you guys to just make sure you're checking your brain and your internal monologue that you have going. And anytime you hear yourself say, I can't learn that, or I don't know how, stop yourself. Or I don't have what I need to do this. Because sometimes we just have this mentality that, well, that person is good because they have this natural ability, or they had the network, or they had this and this and this. They may have a better network than you, but it's because they built it. They didn't always have that great network. They built it from something. So good, Rachel. I'm glad it's everything that you've been thinking and feeling. You're not the only one. I know that this is something we've had I've had several discussions about. So that's just growth and fixed mindset. Okay. So I want you to try to think about, and this is great just as a parent for trying to get your kids to have a growth mindset. I remember having teachers that I don't want to hear you say you can't. Can't should be removed from your vocabulary. And it used to aggravate me. But now that I'm a parent, I get it. I want my kids to know, okay, you don't know how to do this right now, but you can learn how to do this. So Marcella von Harding talked about intentional language and being very intentional about what you say and speak. And I stayed and listened to her at beauty school, even though it was the exact same thing that I heard her do at convention, because it's so good. It's so powerful because our brain takes things, our subconscious takes things very literally that we say to ourselves. And so when you say, I don't know how to do that, instead say, I need to learn how to do that. I need to learn this. And it puts it in a perspective. Some of the other things that she talks about is that I don't have time for that. We make time for whatever we want to make time for. So instead, change your wording. Instead of saying I don't have time for that, say I am not going to make that a priority. I'm not making that I'm not choosing to spend my time that way. I want you to do that anytime you say, I don't have time this month for XYZ. I want you to say, I'm not choosing to spend my time on XYZ this month, and see if it feels different to you. It might feel empowering, like, okay, yeah, that's right. I am not choosing to spend my time there, and I'm okay with that. Or it might be like and you realize you are responsible for your schedule. Life happens. But you are, for the most part, you're responsible for your schedule. And the same with budget. Instead of, I don't have money, we don't have the money to do that. We are choosing not to spend our money on that. And let me tell you, that becomes very, very powerful. When you get to a point where you do have the money to do certain things, and you can't really say to your kids, we don't have the money for that. That's not an excuse to not get them something, because that was the excuse I always grew up with my parents. We don't have the money for that. My kids want a $5 thing. I can't tell them we don't have the money for that. But I can say to them, we're choosing not to spend our money on that. And that is actually really, really powerful. It's a perspective shift on finances for your kids to go, we're stewarding the money we have, and we choose where we spend it. Instead of being a victim of our circumstances, we can't have things because we don't have the money. Okay? It's crazy. It's minimal things, but it changes your perspective on everything, and it helps you see where your control is in every one of these situations. Okay? Now, that's just the foundation. We talk a lot about limiting beliefs. Okay? And I'm going to take this kind of to a little maybe different place than we usually do about limiting beliefs and limiting mindsets. And I want you to kind of think about this, because I had somebody ask me in the last couple weeks, how do I have a silver mindset? What does a silver think like? Like, I don't even know what that looks like. And I was like, what do you think a silver thinks like? How do you perceive a silver leader? And where do you feel like you fall short? Whatever that is, that's where you need to work, right? What do you think a silver leader is going to think like? The reality is, since most people hit silver, I don't want to say most people, lots of people hit silver before they even realize what they've gotten themselves into. It's not about the title of silver. It's nothing to do with that. That means nothing. So what they believe is, number one, that they are worth it. And this is going to be huge. I think most of you guys on here, I know you are, I don't think that this is an issue for any of you, but you have to know that you are worth it for your wellness journey. You are worth spending the time to make sure your health is right. You're worth spending the time to rest, to eat right, to spend the extra money on for the shampoo that you need or whatever it is, you are worth that. And I know a lot of us are moms here. Jason's on here. He's a dad, but a lot of us are moms on here, and we kind of put ourselves on the back burner. And a lot of people get into this journey because of their family and they're thinking of others. But your journey is a part of this too. So you are worth it to take that time and make sure that you're actually on this journey. Sarah Johnson spoke, and she's a Royal Crown Diamond. She talked about sharing as sharing Young Living just as a habit. Like she said, I'm just always sharing my journey. She said, and my journey is always changing. I'm always growing. I'm always getting better. She's got several kids, homeschooled a lot of them. And she said, my journey right now as a Royal Crown Diamond is, man, I am getting up to work out every morning. And so what I'm sharing with my team is that every morning I need my nitro and my Ninja Red so that I can get my butt to the gym because I'm really trying to get some weight off. She said, and I'm being transparent and authentic in that journey. And so that's huge, but you've got to actually be on the journey, and you've got to see and value yourself in that. Because if you're not valuing yourself enough to be on that journey, it's really hard to lead other people to value themselves in that journey. I mean, it's like that graphic of the leader telling other people the boss tells other people what to do, but the leader is actually leading and showing the way. You've got to be on that journey. Yes, a lot of us started for our family. I did too. And that there's nothing wrong with that, because you can lead other moms to lead their family the right direction. But there's a point where you've got to get yourself on that journey, and you've got to be sharing that journey along the way. So they believe, for the number one, they believe that they are worth it, and that the natural health journey is worth it for them and their family. And that a lot of that is being a product of the product, all of those things that you hear, but that's the mindset behind it. The mindset behind being a product of the product is just, I'm worth it, my family is worth it, and we are on this journey, and being open and transparent and sharing that with others. The second thing that they believe is that they have influence, that other people care what they have to say. This is a big thing. And I know this is going to get harder for you guys. I see Rachel making a face there. This is going to get harder for some of you guys because I'm going to challenge you with this. You have influence. You have influence because you are here. You have people under you, and you are at least a senior star. You have influence already. Yes, I have a big team, but I've only in 5-6 years signed up maybe less. I've signed up less than 100 people. And that includes the people that Young Living has stacked under me. Less than 100 people over 6 years. Okay? Do you have less than 100 people between, 75 people over the course of 5 years that you could sign up? Sure you do. I mean, you've got friends and family and circles. Absolutely. So you have influence in people's lives. There are people that look to you, that ask you questions. And if you feel like influence is an issue for you, work on that. It is a skill that you can learn and you can grow in. A lot of influence, and this is something that John Maxwell teaches, is just pouring into other people. People will be influenced by you when they know that you care about them. It's not just about being an expert. That there are lots of people that are experts that are jerks and nobody wants to listen to them because they don't care about anybody. But if you can just build relationships with people, then you gain influence in their lives. John Maxwell talks about give value wherever you go. Give more than you expect in return. This is about sharing information that is not going to benefit you. If you're on this natural wellness journey, why do we talk about colloidal silver and elderberry syrup and Trim Healthy Mama and things like that when we don't make anything on it? Because it's been beneficial to us in our lives, and we know that it can be beneficial to others. That when we share those things openly and we say, hey, this is a lifestyle. It's not just about the products that you're going to buy from me that I'm going to benefit from, but it's about sharing this whole lifestyle with you guys. Even if you never buy anything from me, I always said in all of my intro classes that I wanted people to leave with information that they could take and use even if they never signed up for Young Living. And so that's adding value to people. So they have influence and they believe in their influence. Okay. So if you struggle with that, maybe it's a mindset up here. You do have influence. Everyone does. It's just about learning to cultivate it. They also believe that they have life-changing information. Okay. You guys believe this. I know you believe this. Sometimes we forget it. And I think this is one of the big things that came along with the changes with the FDA thing. We don't hear it as often. We don't hear those life-changing stories as often because they can't be shared as publicly. But we have life-changing information. We have people that I know people that have been cured from cancer. I know people that have been that are off of medications. I know my son is not on medications because of choices that we've made in our lifestyle. We have life-changing information. We have products that can change people's lives. So we need to be sharing it as if we do. If you don't believe that, or if you haven't experienced, that's another reason to be on the journey, because when you actually have those personal experiences, you may not be able to share them on Facebook. You share them one-on-one with your friends, that can make an impact. And the reality is, if people know your journey and they know the struggles that you have and you're open and transparent with those struggles, and then you get on a natural health and wellness journey that you're sharing, even if you never mention Young Living alongside your progress, they will know because you're sharing Young Living over here. People put two and two together and they're pretty smart. So they believe that they have life-changing information. That's a huge thing. And I think that's something that I'm really wanting to cultivate in our tribe with people that just want to share. That we have life-changing information, and you do not have to be a business builder to share that life-changing information. You do not have to be a business builder to get somebody new on board and help get them plugged in to us, and we'll help educate them so that they can be on this journey and all of that. So that's something that we're wanting to really cultivate further down, not just within the leadership. But really, if you believe that you're worth it and you're on the journey, you believe that you have influence, and you believe that you have life-changing information, there is nothing that will stop you from sharing. You will find ways to share everywhere you go. You will find reasons to share everywhere you go. Worth is a big one. Influence is a big one. And then that belief in the product. Okay, so I believe all of you on here, I told you I was going to keep this short because this is my wrap up here. But this is a good wrap up. So I believe all of you on here profess to be followers of Christ. If anyone is not, then you can just tune me out for a second, or you can take what of this might apply to you in whatever way you want to. But I am speaking as a follower of Christ, and I'm speaking specifically to those that have Jesus, okay? So we have the mind of Christ, correct? We have the mind of Christ. We have, hi Nathan. So if we have the mind of Christ, number one, does Christ have any limiting beliefs? No. Does he have negativity? No. He has realism, obviously, but does he have negativity? No, he doesn't. So why do we? There is no reason for, those are things that Satan wants to use against us to say, oh, and then we get focused on the actual limitation instead of on the one. If we focus on the mindset that Christ has, we focus on living in him and allowing him to live through us, then there isn't a limitation. Okay? So for whatever limiting belief that you have, and you know what it is, you guys, I think all of you have been doing this long enough, you know where your limitation is, you know where that struggle is in your mindset, and you know what holds you up. You may not know how to get past it, but I'm going to ask you to do what we've been encouraging people to do, and that is pray, listen to God, and then do what he says about it. Yeah. So Nathan's going to be talking about this. If you don't know how to listen to God, Nathan's going to be doing some chats about this. But mindset is such a huge thing. And there's no reason whatsoever for any of us to struggle with it, because we have the mind of Christ. We have access to the mind of the creator of the universe. So we have the ability to learn all things. We have the power of God in us to do all things. So oh yeah, everyone here should read the Circle Maker. Okay, I'm reading the Circle Maker, Dawn, right now. I've actually been praying circles around our team, and I didn't know how to do that, so I've been writing prayers in circles around your names, just so you know. So the Circle Maker is huge into that idea of just asking God for big things, and asking him for those amazing, incredible things. But I feel like I want you guys to just take some time and really focus on not the limitations, but who you are in Christ and what he wants to do with you. Because the reality is, I know some of the dreams that you guys have. I know the visions that God has put on your heart. I know what he wants to accomplish in you. God gives you those desires. They are good. They are good, wonderful things. He's not going to give you some desire in your heart to do something wonderful and amazing and then not give you the ability to do that. That would be cruel. Why in the world would God give you a desire for something good and then not give you the provision for it to be fulfilled? We're actually, Jason's been listening with me to Sean Bowles, and he's talking about provision for your destiny. He's going to give it to you. You just have to be willing to walk it out. You have to be willing to listen. You have to, and he wants to do it with you. And that's me, because I tend to want to just like run off without him and be like, I got this, God. So he wants us to slow down, and he wants to be with us on the journey. So I just want to really encourage you guys to just take some time and focus on that vision, that what is that God has given you. He's put it on your heart. And maybe maybe that's where the worth issue comes in for you. Maybe you don't feel like you're worthy of that. Maybe you just set all that aside because Jesus died for all that already. Okay. So that's already done. You set it aside, and then you come in and you say, okay, God, just use me. I want to get there. I know you want this for me. And then allow him to utilize Young Living, because most of you guys are here because you want to grow Young Living, because you see how it can be a tool to help you get there. Whether that vision is Young Living specific or if it's something that Young Living is going to be a tool to utilize. So that is my encouragement to you guys, because I know that every single one of you can do this. Number one, I'm not smarter than any of you. I spent a lot of time on YouTube learning how to build WordPress websites, but I'm not smarter than any of you. I don't have any special amazing skills that when it comes to this. I don't mind talking to people. I'm really chatty. That might be the only skill that I was born with that I brought into this, is that I can talk. It's Tracy, but still I can talk too. So I really wanted, and I felt like this was something that everyone needed to hear, because, and I'm going back up here and listening to, I'm reading through the chat here to see what you guys are saying, but this is something that so many people have come to me. And, I think it was Nathan that asked recently, what is it? What's the one thing that keeps you guys, or that's the biggest struggle in the business or with leaders or whatever? And I said, mindset. Mind right here, what's between here and here. And then when we went to the conference and they were talking about just having the mind of Christ and all of this, I told Jason, I said, all of our leaders are Christians. So why are we not leading them in that direction to go like, this should not be an issue. Not that you should beat yourself up if you're struggling with it, because we all do. It's not about that. It's about taking your mind back to God and focusing on what he says about you and who you are and what he wants for you. That's what it's about. And so anyways, I love you all, and I think you're all amazing. And I know that every single one of you can do this. And so let's do it. Let's do it. We are at a point in the business, in our organization, where we are about to see amazing, incredible growth. I can tell, I can feel it. I think most of you can. We've been on the brink of where we were kind of going down, and now we've leveled off. We've been leveled off for about 6 months. And now we're ready to grow. We are also ready to expand our leadership. You guys are a part of that leadership. I want you to feel like you are, yes, China. I want you to take responsibility for the tribe. Share information there. Teach there. Because you have influence in our organization. Not just with people out there, but you have influence in our organization. And I want you to all be seen as the leaders there. So share, educate, answer questions, make the tribe your own, okay? And I want to see all of you do that. You don't have to be an admin to do that. And if you want to do a Facebook Live, just post it in the, hi Tim, post it in the Operation Silver chat, just so we make sure nothing else is going on. Right now, we don't have like a huge scramble for video time slots, so I think you guys are fine. But just let other people know. But yeah, I love you guys. Do y'all have anything? Any questions? Make your faith bigger than your doubts. That's right. Those doubts do not come from above. And I will tell you too, one of the things that, oh yeah, Jason says, anything anybody want to share? Okay, well, while you're thinking what you want to share, I'll share one quick story from Sarah Johnson. Sarah, yeah, I think it's Sarah Johnson. She's a Royal Crown Diamond. She said she kind of worked, number one, she was at silver for like 3 years and then jumped up to Royal Crown or to Crown Diamond. And she said, I had blinders on. I didn't really know what anybody else did. She's been with the company for a very long time, like 15, 16 years or something. She said, I didn't really know what anyone else did or what it looked like until I got to Crown Diamond. And then suddenly I saw this person over here doing things this way and this person over here doing things this way. She said, and it really shut me down for a while. So that comparison game does not end when you get to a certain rank. The reality is even a Crown Diamond struggled with it and had to kind of move past that mentality some. So don't think that it's ever one of those things that you just, oh, well, when I hit this rank, it won't be an issue for me anymore. Anybody want to share anything on mindset?
I agree with everything Ashley said.
Hi, Kelly.
Oh, so true. So good. Ashley, thank you.
You're welcome.
So good. I was reading this Sean Bull's 90-Day Exploring the Prophetic yesterday, and before our class, which our friend was going to invite all these wonderful people to. And it said, write down what your thoughts are and then write down what God's thoughts are. And I put my thoughts. I don't know if anyone's going to come to this class, and I'm very frustrated because I like market and promote events. Rachel knows, for ministry stuff. And this was kind of delegated anyway. But God's thoughts, I said, he knows every person that will be at any class that we ever teach. And, I just continued to write out kind of what his thoughts were toward our business and toward this evening and, things to come, and just began to speak life into it. And so it really helped me prepare for when no one came. And then this morning I got up and really, really spent time listening to God. And I may save this for Thursday night, but I really felt like he gave us some really good insight for how to do better in the future. So.
Awesome. And I love that. It's one of those things you can take that experience and go, I learned from that. Anybody have anything else? Okay. I know it's late. Okay, I'm going to share one little story, and it's an AFT story, and it's one of my own. So just excuse me while I get really vulnerable for a minute. But when I did my very first AFT, it was at beauty school in Houston about a year ago. And one of the things that came up was that yes, Marie was there. I cried. It's okay. We all cried, Marie. We cried together as we were releasing emotions. But one of the things that I had thought as I was going through this and just trying to think about Diamond and all that kind of stuff was that I'm not a good leader. And I kind of thought about why I thought that and all that kind of stuff. Thought about some times that I had struggled, some things I maybe didn't handle the right way and all of that, and why I had those feelings like I wasn't a good leader. And what God brought to my mind was, it's so funny how the AFT works when you just go, okay, and you just like past emotion, what is this? What comes up? And it was me in first grade and math, and I'm sitting there watching my teacher teach us how to carry a 10 in math class. It's one of the first times I remember being truly frustrated in school because I did not get it. She was talking about this 10 floating around out here and then putting it in, and I was like, I do not understand why there's a 10 floating around. I don't get it. And just being so frustrated. And then God, I kind of felt like God was saying, okay, is this something that you struggle with now? Like, no, that would be kind of silly if I was like, I stink at carrying 10s at 33 years old. No, like I had a frustrating experience early on as I was learning. And so what he showed me was all of these experiences in leadership were like within our first year when we were growing so fast. Not that I haven't screwed up since, but like the big ones that stick in my mind were in that first year. He's like, here you are 4 years later, and it's just as silly for you now to feel like a bad leader because of those things 4 years ago that you struggled with when you were learning, as it would be for you to feel like you were bad at carrying 10s, basic first grade math, because you struggled when you were first learning it. We learn and we grow, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that we are stuck there in that. I was still stuck in my mindset as if I was there, even though I learned how to handle things differently and handle things better. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I think through this process, I think AFT can be very helpful if that's something that you feel comfortable guiding yourself through, because God can use that and use your mindset. And if it's not something, I see Tracy smiling over there, it's not something that you feel comfortable guiding yourself through, maybe you can message Shanna and she can take you through it, or just go follow Dr. Perkis and some of his videos, or just sit, get some oils out, and during your Bible study, just really take some time and ask God to change your mindset. And ask him to reveal where those deep-rooted issues are and what it is that keeps you stuck, and how to have the mindset that he needs you to have to complete what he wants you to. So, alrighty, just say no to feeling. You can only do that for so long, Tracy, because then it just all comes out in one way or another. It does. Okay, Rachel's got something, I think. Do you want me to unmute you? Were you going to say something, Rachel? Yes, I got you. You're unmuted. Are you going to say something? No, I can't hear you.
Sing us a song, Rachel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rachel has a beautiful voice, by the way. I can't
Yes,
hear you. You're unmuted, but I can't hear you.
I think they froze. Like all I see is their heads.
No, they're there. I don't know. Anything else?
No, they turned off the mic on purpose.
Alrighty. Well, I love you guys. You're amazing. I'm believing amazing things for this month and this spring.
Yeah.
So let's go do it. And I want you to tell us how things shift for you. Okay. And pray for me as I go back to Tyler this week. Tomorrow, I'll be getting up early. So.
Yes. Can I pray for you and the team right now? Is that okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Father, thank you so much for Ashley, our fearless, wonderful leader. We pray, God, you bless her and fill her with your Holy Spirit, peace that surpasses understanding. May the God of all comfort be with her. God, the things that she's going through now, that she could use this as opportunity to be there and to comfort others in their suffering. We pray for her mom, God, for a quick recovery. We pray for wisdom in the doctors. God, we just bless this whole team for Tracy, hilarious, Tracy and Rachel. We combine their names, Lord, Jennifer, Jason, Shelby, and Marie, Dawn, and the phone people that hung up. Fill them, Lord. Use us this week, God, as we want to pray. We want to hear from heaven and do what you say. God, give us the courage, the sensitivity. Help us to have that shift in mindset that would hold us back so that we could see everything that you want to accomplish through our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I love you guys. It's okay, Rachel.
Much love.
I'm going to encourage you, Rachel, to do yours as a Facebook Live in the tribe.
Yes,
Boom,
do it.
In the form of a song.
In the form of a song.
In the form of a song. Yes.
Self-composed, aria. Tell your story. Bye, guys. I love ya.
Adios.